surprised everybody by also being very good.
You know what? You guys would have a dope name too. It'd be
See,
slow.
the dream never got to that part.
Hold on, slow fuse and the chair guy.
Oh.
That's pretty rad.
I like
I'm not
breaking it
gonna
down
lie.
to just fuse in the chair.
Fuse in the chair. Yeah.
Chair
Hi.
fuse.
It's us.
Chair fuse.
Jason
Chair
and,
fuse.
and Jacob are going to be engaging in a rap battle later.
Yes.
I don't know if Jacob knows this.
No. Neither did I until just now.
It needs
Well-
to happen though.
It's got to happen.
Lumberjack Tim, 20 months. Tier
20
1
months?
subs. Hello, sir.
It feels like so much longer.
It does.
Paintlicker just thanks us, or just thinks we need to know that he's lurking and can't hear. So
Sounds like a
Well,
lie.
if he can't hear, that means we can say all kinds of stuff
I'll
about it.
just throw
That's
back
true.
my
Let's
legs
let's say how
and
great
pollute my
Paintlicker is. He's
britches
one of the
with
greatest
delight.
human beings on the planet.
What?
We
You
can-
could also say that.
Because he'll never be
He would
around to
never
say that
know.
again.
Sounds like I wasn't gonna go there, but
He
you know.
would never know.
We'll never know.
Never know.
You just never know.
You never know
Tim's not driving today
what you're gonna know.
because he probably already drove like 50 hours this week or more.
Nah.
Yeah,
he's
the
lying.
company said you can't work anymore this week. You have reached your limit.
Why do I not have bright warm gray?
Oh man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just another Friday?
It feels like a chair day.
Uh-oh.
Yeah? Is it gonna be podcast day? Or is it gonna be Fuses talking about things in the chair while Jordan is pretty and paints? One of those days?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
might be. It
I'm game, it's Friday.
might be.
It's Friday.
Hey,
Friday.
I'll just
Gotta
put it-
get down on Friday.
It might be.
Hey Jason, I'll put it this way for you. Good to be king.
Might be. I do have a model I'd like.
Yeah, build the model and then chill.
You need a little TV tray so you can sit in the comfy chair and build your model.
That would be hilarious.
So I didn't notify everybody, but this happened.
Oh, you have it! You have it! Oh, it's not affixed.
What? It's
That's
so much
amazing.
better in person.
That's
and
what
I'm
I
not
told
even
her.
seeing it in person. I'm looking at it on the screen, but
That's
it's
what I
already
told her.
So much better.
I told Dork and Chad. I told her that it's so much better in person. It's so good.
So good. I love the little rug. Like standing up.
Yeah,
on the
when you
rug.
really get to see it.
Yeah,
Right. This
there's
is
so
all
much.
freehand.
Oh, that's all freehand?
Yeah.
That looks great.
The freehand on the little trunk.
Well done.
So good.
It's quite awesome sauce,
Awesome sauce.
especially since we have the Quackma Sutra going on
Yeah.
on the background. It's so good. A lot of love. A lot of love in this.
Happy
Love and gobstoppers.
happy partner anniversary, said Thor's Paz.
Huh? For anniversary?
Happy partner anniversary. Is today our partner anniversary?
Oh.
Oh.
Like our what? Like our 8th or 7th or 8th one?
But Tim, if you're not driving, you should be in chat the whole time because you don't have to watch the road.
We're finishing up Malagers today. That's the goal. Tired of this guy not being done. We're finishing his butt. Is everybody having a good Friday so far? Because I certainly am.
Tell everyone about your lunch.
I played some Horus Heresy today for the first time.
He did. I witnessed it.
You did witness it. You witnessed me having a lot of my dudes get ripped off the table.
Tina Fanatic says I'm dying of some illness.
I mean, we all are, technically.
Called life.
It's called life.
The illness is
Exactly.
called life. Boy, you guys are a downer.
Wah, wah.
You guys, wah, wah. You guys are a downer.
Hey, I gotta frame all the
Do I
happiness
have
with
that?
a little
I
bit
think we
of.
have that one. I think that one works.
Exactly.
That one does work.
They were just they had fun with the game, but Kyle was just showing him the ropes.
Yeah, it was not a real game. It
Kyle
was
basically
like
charged two 15-man units of like assault world eaters
yeah.
into his normal Joes, and mopped up some normal Joes. Fever of 102. That is no good.
That is not good.
Don't do that.
Take some Tylenol, you'll be fine.
I'm gonna tell you that the better way to live your life is to not do that.
Better way to live your life is around 98.6.
Yep.
Don't do that.
Yep, it is the time of year when people get sick.
Yeah, Dragonfall is 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away.
Mm-hmm. And then so is New York. Because that's also coming up really fast.
Oh my God. I need to find the muse on something. Or do I build my model?
He wanted to have a chair day, and now he wants to find stuff. I'm so confused.
I don't know.
YG monologuing. So 2 weeks away, yes sir, can't wait to see you there. He'll be in his invisibility cloak.
I will not be there.
Be there in your invisibility cloak.
Yes, that too.
Pennsylvania. 2 weeks away. I want to go to that.
Pennsylvania.
I'm going to Pennsylvania.
We watched the show. I think one of those would be kind of fun.
Good old Pennsylvania. Oh, are you pulling it out? The thing? Or is this different?
Excuse me?
Well, why'd you make it weird? I'm trying to figure out what he's got over there.
Tim, I've probably asked you before, but have you ever done any, like, sculpting onto a Pez dispenser and then painting it? Like, bringing the hobby and the Pez together?
I think it's just empty.
I feel like I've asked you,
Oh, it might just be extra brushes.
but I can't remember.
What do you want?
You have
The
not.
black
Oh, you
case that has the
should.
knives.
That's probably in your bag. He's found his muse. For now.
Don't speak when you're in the invisibility cloak. That defeats the whole purpose.
Yep. People know you there. What's the point?
Oh. Hey, Liquor, you need to pick one from your collection that you already have, or you're going to buy a new one. Because don't forget, we have Journeyman as well.
We have many cool things. Here are amazing prowess of cool new things.
Blood Tomato. Hello.
Wad, tomato, and
Tom!
Tom. Tom. He's here, Tom.
I think Wad has more names than maybe anyone else in chat.
I bequeathed Wad, tomato, N with his new name when I arrived. really do just steal
What you doing
everything
over
from me.
there?
So there was, I think that is the right one. I think it had 2 knives in it. Where the other knives? Like,
This
how
one?
did you get your knife back from Nova?
This was just an empty one.
But how did you get your knife back from Nova?
Good question. I think you had it, actually.
It's here.
Yeah. Because I definitely didn't have it in the bag.
No, it was in a black case.
I think I actually gave it to you because I remember
Yeah,
that.
I put it in the black
Yeah.
brush case. But how do you have it back?
Well, I think this one was just here.
Well, maybe it's at home.
Yeah, we'll find it. What is?
Snow Mountain said, "What a cool icon. What is that?" I
What?
assume that's a question for Jordan?
This?
You were the only one showing anything. Yes.
It's the Eye of Horus.
But like an Inquisitor thing?
No, it's Horus's. It's the icon of the Sons of Horus, which is a chapter of Spes Marines.
Eye of Horus is like an Egyptian
Also, yes,
thing.
that was
They-
used.
She is feeling almost
Holy
too
hell.
good, I
Like-
think. Like when I got home yesterday,
100%.
she was like a new dog.
Yeah.
Like crazy, jumping, running around zoomies all the time. Like it was crazy. And yeah, so it just further support for she was faking it.
It
People
sure
are faking
seemed
it
that
the
way
whole
last
time.
night. She got whatever she needed from it and was faking it because she was like back at like 900%.
Yeah. But
What?
I mean, it when you think about it and how she hasn't acted like that in a really long time, she maybe has arthritis or something, and like maybe it is always kind of like her back always kind of bothers her hips. or
And then
something.
you get muscle relaxers into her, and she's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
oh."
exactly. Well, she did the anti-inflammatory for I think she'd only taken it twice,
Yeah.
and we saw that kind of result. But yeah, I was worried that she was gonna get so crazy that she would hurt herself. So, I called today. I'm like, what do I do?
What did they say?
Well, they said that because it's not like an antibiotic, where you have to take the whole course of it, right?
Right,
In order
right,
for it
right.
to really work. These are just anti-inflammatories. So I said, do I keep giving them to her? I'm like, the muscle relaxer part of it, I want to give her so that she does stay a little bit more calm and not jump up and hurt herself worse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they said just to give it to her for another few more days probably and make sure she's really on the mend.
Yeah.
So
Dogs are weird.
Mo said, so what's the bondage deep from?
Eisenhorn. This is
Cool.
the demon host that Gregor Eisenhorn created. Cherubael.
Interesting.
Neat. Model from RTLW over in Russia.
Another partner anniversary. Well wishes. Oh, it must be our partner anniversary.
Somebody
Twitch
might
suggested I should say
Twitch,
that.
yeah, Twitch must be yelling it out from the top of the mountain or something. We did not know this, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We don't really pay attention to that though, so to our sort of credit, we don't have an idea what's going on.
Pops up when you join stream. Wonder how many years we've been a partner.
7?
5? Oh, really? That long?
Yeah, probably 7. Since 2006. 2016.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it would have been late 2016. So 7 years.
That's a good old time.
Fuse getting kinky on the anniversary stream. What is this? Am I not seeing in this?
It's a bondage demon. I mean, it's not a bondage demon, but he's in bondage because they
Oh, okay.
feel like maybe this glue is bad.
There is not cake and ice cream. We forgot the anniversary. Bad spouse.
How can you be the bad spouse if it's only us?
I don't know. I mean, just it's the thing about the stereotype that the husband always forgets the wedding anniversary.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's kind of that thing. We don't know.
Well, I kind of fit the stereotype.
Morning Tide said I was told there would be cake and ice cream. Well, you were told wrong.
Well,
You were also not told by us.
Unless it was were you told that you were supposed to bring it?
yeah. See,
Is this your fault?
Yeah,
blame
where's
you.
our cake and ice cream?
We blame you. Where's
Are we
our cake and
blaming you,
ice
Morning
cream?
Tide?
Dirty, filthy bastages. Oops.
Game delay, thank you. You really let us down, Morning Tide.
Me
Get
in
'em.
particular.
Get him!
Morning Tide, I'm very sorry that the crowd is turning on you. Ice cream on the way from Florida. Stand by.
This is what happens when you create a mob.
Sounds like a police entrapment party. Oh, but there'll be cake and ice cream.
Ah.
You should show up. You in particular,
Oh
with
my
all
God,
of your
I
mob
remember when they used
friends.
to give like free VCRs to the deadbeat dads to get them to come in and pay their child support.
Oh my God. How funny.
What the heck?
I saw that on the news. They're like, yeah, big operation by the police cracking down on those deadbeat dads. Sent them out a notice saying they could come get a free VCR if they showed up at this address, and it turned out that it was a trap.
Unironically, a lot of people probably did something like that.
Send the chair guy to get a cake and ice cream.
Yeah, where's
we can
Chair
trust-
Guy?
Eating cake and ice
We can
cream.
trust him.
He's in a rap battle.
Yeah, he's gonna be in a rap battle later on. He doesn't
Oh
know
my
that
gosh.
yet.
I can't believe you dreamt that up last
Yeah, that was
night.
my dream. And it was very realistic. Like, I was literally, as the kids would say, spitting bars in my
You're
dream.
spitting some bars,
And
dude?
Jacob was some, like underground rap god.
I mean, maybe he is, and we just don't know it. Maybe you're.
Is this the
maybe you're a
telepathic
prophet of some
ability that we are
This
now
is-
uncovering?
And this is like, I show up at this club randomly. And I'm like, Jacob. And he was very embarrassed
Because you found him out.
because I found him out.
Found out
And
his
then
secret
I got up on
identity.
stage with him.
What was his rap name?
I don't know any
Chair
of these.
guy.
I can't answer any of these questions.
Chair Guy.
MCCG.
Yeah, he was the chair guy.
Little chair.
He's
Dirty chair guy.
Chairman in Chief.
Game Delay said, my order of brushes from you came. They are very red. I did not realize how red these brushes would be. These are red brushes. Red.
Yes,
They are painted red.
they are
Is
red.
that MC Chair Dizzle?
I love how we're making up names for Chair Guy, and he's not here.
Well, that's the best way to talk about
That's
chair guy.
definitely the best time to do it. No idea.
Okay, as a hand. And then there's a bunch of these things. Cherubael. One of the most powerful beings to ever be written into the 40k universe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, he was a demon host, which is the most unethical of things to create. But somehow Eisenhorn was able to pull off creating like the king of the demon hosts. He is absolutely brutal in the stories. And he just keeps rescuing Gregor Eisenhorn all the time.
Wait, like protecting him?
Oh yeah, that's what he's there for. Is he taunts him, and he keeps saying throughout the entirety of the books that no one else is allowed to kill Gregor Eisenhorn, so he keeps protecting him.
But he never kills him.
Never kills him.
That's funny.
Spoiler alert, he winds up burning himself out in the end. He winds up being Gregor's greatest ally in the end.
Weird.
Punisher wants to know
So
where the model
intriguing.
came from.
Artel W. They make some fantastic sculpts that are 40K adjacent. They do the entire warband for Eisenhorn.
Oh, that's cool.
In 30 millimeter, 28 millimeter for game scale. But they make this guy in 75, so he's the only one that's in 75. So I was like, I really want to paint Charubael. One of my favorite characters from that series. Well, I can't say that because he doesn't have a predominant like role in the series. He's very well known and very well written. So I like this character from that series. I guess is a better way to say it.
Does Charubael have like a personality in the book?
Oh yeah, he's a complete catastrophe.
Okay.
And he's made out of one of Gregor's henchmen.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what really sealed the deal. That's what makes Gregor like outcast heretic, sought after by the entire Imperium to get rid of him and kill him.
Hey, T-Schmidt.
That's why Ravener has to hunt him down.
Schmidt.
Friday.
Ravener was one of his henchmen too. Gideon Ravener was his interrogator and saw how Eisenhorn worked and was there when Charubael was created. That was the time, I think, that Ravener got blowed up and turned into the chair. Speaking of the chair.
The chair?
Yeah.
What chair?
Gideon Ravener is an inquisitor who's trapped inside of a life support system that's like a floating coffin.
Oh.
But they call it the chair. They
Oh.
call him Chair. He didn't like it, but he can only like speak through a enunciator attached to his box.
What the heck?
He's like a dreadnought. It's like when they make dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
He's just in a box, and he floats on suspensors, and he has a psi cannon attached to it, like the Grey Knights, because he's like a
Psyker.
he's like a very high level psyker,
Oh, okay. Cool.
as is Eisenhorn. So
That's neat.
yeah, that whole series is well worth the read. There's some really amazing stuff going on in it.
Schmidt wants to know what the model is, and I've already forgotten.
If what?
T. Schmidt wants to know what the model is.
Charubael.
Charubael. Say that 10 times fast.
Maybe I didn't hear that. That doesn't sound familiar at all.
I just want to hear Jen say it all day.
Charubael?
Charubael.
Charubael?
Hey, you got it right. Charubael.
What does that mean?
Yes.
Is that a made-up word?
Yes. I mean, it might be like a demon from, some sort of mythology.
It makes me think of cherub,
Yeah. It is Charubael,
which is an angel.
like cherub.
Oh, cherub. A-E-L. Okay.
Yeah, it has
Cherub,
AEL in it.
A-E-L. Prince.
Yeah, it's a high level, like he's a very powerful demonic essence. I don't know that he talks about who he is, like his importance in the demonic realm and the realm of chaos and all that, but I don't know that that's ever anything that we get. This one's bad. They even had to fix this at the factory. That's already got super glue.
Oh, really? Did they like fill
Maybe not. It might just be
a hole?
resin. Yeah, these things. have to be heated up. Work right.
What's everyone doing this weekend? What are you guys doing this weekend?
I'm chilling.
Chilling
Might do some painting.
like a villain?
I am chilling like a villain. But I'm gonna do some painting, and then just gonna relax. Maybe build
Nice.
some models. Maybe go play some Arcana or something. I don't know. The world is my oyster.
We're not going to get together and play 10 hours of Magic again.
I was just about to ask that.
Do you want to get together and play 10 hours of Magic again?
That was an amazing Saturday.
It was pretty darn good. I know that Gabe is busy tomorrow.
Your brushes came with a sticker telling you to not eat paint, so I guess I'm not eating paint this weekend.
Good,
Is that a
good
hard, fast
following
rule? Like, don't do it
directions.
ever? Yes.
Don't do it ever.
Yes, that doesn't have a timer attached to it.
It is a hard, fast rule. Not
Xenophonetic never got past the first Eisenhorn book.
The union says I have to go on a smoke break. Do they force you to smoke?
Sounds like a crappy union.
'Cause, yeah, that's unfair.
Seems sus.
That's just fancy food coloring, Clark Sean.
Yeah, I think in the end, Cherubael breaks his bonds, actually. In some horrific instance where Eisenhorn is about to die, Cherubael breaks through his psychic bonds that keep him. That's what all the chains are. You know, it's like summoning circle stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so he's in these chains that keep him in pain all the time. And he's there just to do the bidding of Eisenhorn. I think in the end he breaks his bonds and still saves Gregor.
Interesting.
Like they formed enough of a bond through the entire thing that before he gets his essence destroyed or whatever, he saves Gregor Eisenhorn.
Oh, Tom said I wasn't good enough to get a don't eat the paint sticker. Guess I'm all clear. No, that's not what that means.
That's not how I mean. That's we only send it as an intervention
We
for those
tell,
people
we
that
tell
need it
you
the
every
worst.
day. We expect that it,
You are not eating
it
the
will
paint.
get stuck in your head.
Yeah, we
Sticker
tell
even
you all the
says
time.
please, so I think I'm stuck.
We are definitely polite about it.
Yeah, we are polite about it. Oh, it goes there. The other RTLW model that I got was the Sanguinius one, which is pretty freaking phenomenal.
Wait, you got a Sanguinius model?
They make the world's best Sanguinius model right now.
Wait, do you have it?
Yeah, it's sitting right here. It's just too many pieces for me to want to build right now.
Oh, I want to
I
see
might
it.
build it after this. We'll see.
Can I see it real quick?
No.
Oh. That makes me very sad.
Well,
You can't always get what you want.
I didn't want to have to say it, but yes, you're correct.
I believe that song goes on to say, but you get what you need. And I need to see that model.
Well, I disagree.
Oh, dang.
Well, dang. It's like you realized I might be in danger and quickly added this sticker. Yes. That's how much we love you. Monument Hobbies. Protecting
We're just
you.
trying to save you from yourself.
Yes, Monument is exactly what I was about to say. We think great minds think alike, and sometimes so do we. We're always trying to protect you from yourself. I think I probably need to think about bending these before I put them on here, maybe? That one I think is okay. That one's working. I always wondered, like in the books, they always made it really crazy. Like when you saw Gregor's war band. It was all these hardy, battle-weary individuals and this floating demon host. like rough and tumble Eisenhorn, all of his warband with him, and then out of the shadows would come Cherubael whenever they were in like serious business mode. They would take Cherubael, otherwise he'd stay on the ship.
Like,
What's all this
this
stuff?
guy's dangerous.
What's all this stuff hanging off of him?
Like holy chains and
Oh, this is the bondage part. So he's like breaking free of this stuff?
no, this is just how he lives. He's just strapped in the chains. They cause him pain. They like burn him the whole time. And remember, this was Gregor Eisenhorn's friend.
Was once.
This was his buddy.
Is this his fault?
What's
Yep.
that?
You said they were once friends?
They were once friends.
But
He
now
was
did
this
he-
guy was maybe his after. It might have been after Ravener got hurt. This guy was his interrogator, his replacement interrogator, and in a fight, Gregor needed a really big solution, like a final solution kind of a thing, in order to get his entire warband out. And the final solution wound up being sacrifice one of your friends.
Oh. And he picked the short straw?
Yeah, this guy, unfortunately, I think this guy had been shot or something, and Gregor, rather than saving him, was like, no, he's dead anyway, so I'm going to do this. Somebody who remembers this story better than me in the early times would have to fill in the gaps there, but needless to say, it did not generate a lot of good faith amongst everybody that knew what happened.
And what game is this for?
It's in the 40K, it's in the Warhammer 40K universe.
But that model is not specifically for a game.
Are you for a game that you're gonna play?
No.
No, you just think it's
Yeah, oh yeah, this is just something I love from the books, so I was like,
Gotcha.
oh, that's cool. That base is not anywhere near big enough for this model.
Jen, you asked us what we got planned, but
Yeah.
what have you got planned for this weekend?
me?
Yeah.
More brushes.
More brushes? Oh no.
And Canada wants some brushes, so
Thank,
I gotta
thank
get
you for
those
your
ready.
sacrifice. You will be remembered.
that'll be at least tomorrow. Probably not Sunday. I need to take more small brush tubes.
The first chips you had as a child were from a wall. Well, it kind of sets you up for greatness, doesn't it?
Greatness? I don't know. I don't know if greatness could be.
Were they tested for lead?
I was just gonna say, what decade was this? Again, what decade? Flint, Michigan's only been problematic, I think, for the past 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Flint, Michigan.
Long enough to be ashamed of it.
What's wrong with Flint, Michigan?
Okay, wait a minute. Seriously? Have they hidden the problem that bad that people just don't even know anymore?
I am 12.
Huh?
I am like 12.
Flint has had water that was
Contaminated
contaminated by local business.
Yeah, they make really good one.
They make really good water. Hmm.
The government refuses to acknowledge that.
Will not acknowledge that there's anything wrong with the water for these people. Meanwhile,
Oh.
it comes out brown out of the tap.
Okay.
Winnie the Dad, Team Ravener, Team Eisenhorn, baby. They're the same team technically. Some of them just don't know it. If you've been reading Beckwin, that's a good series. Because all of Ravener's old fam that couldn't stand him going rogue, or all of Eisenhorn's fam that couldn't stand him going rogue, went over to Ravener's group. And then, of course, Ravener has to go rogue because he talks to Eisenhorn and, figures out that, oh, the old man's not as crazy as we think he is.
Old Man Eisenhorn?
But I would have thought we would have, we talked about it in chat quite a bit, that I'm surprised we have yet to see the remainder of that book, that whole conversation come to fruition. I would have thought the next Beckwin novel was out already, so I don't know what they're doing. I feel like Games Workshop doesn't, I feel like they have a roadmap, and that roadmap doesn't have any definitive plans. Which is a shame. Maybe I'm wrong. But, like, why the hell isn't the final Beckwin book out? Makes no sense. Thought that was going to coincide with 10th. We had all these great conspiracy theories. And GW just failed us. Because the whole Ravener and Eisenhorn series, which is going to be 9 books in the end, actually more, like 11, and a bunch of short stories, is all leading up to something that is huge in the 40K universe with the King in Yellow.
The King in Yellow.
Yeah, and the King in Yellow is
The Emperor?
Valdor.
Or Valdor?
Constantine Valdor. By all apparent storytelling.
Winnie the Dad said, which one ends in the world of clones?
That's the second Beckwin novel. That's where we're at right now. Or maybe that's the first Beckwin novel, actually. That might be the first one, where they're trapped. Yeah, because the second Beckwin novel ends with them figuring out the King in Yellow's name.
Which I'm assuming they don't say.
Yeah, they do.
Oh. It looks Constantine Valdor.
Yeah, basically. Drop a huge bomb, and Abnett gives this interview that says he's never had the opportunity of having such a great impact on both the storyline and the game at the same time. And it was all motioning towards the 10th edition release, and then 10th comes with a whimper and no real story attached to it. They could have done all this great stuff because they've got the whole situation with Gilliman and a Mortarion, and none of it seems to be headed anywhere now. It's just kind of like this weird literature limbo that Games Workshop tends to do. They build up these scenarios, and then you just wait, and then they just kind of drift into either obscurity, or they decide at the factory they have to do something different. I don't envy it, because as a manufacturer, you got to be careful, right? You can't, like, close a story if you need sales of product that are included in the story, right? Maybe you're going to kill a character off, but then somebody's like, no, sales are down, we really need to do this. You're like, but we have a good story we're telling.
And then they're like, hey, if you want to keep telling that story, we need to have money to pay you. So
yeah, they kind of ditch the whole deal. I mean, I'm sure it's still coming, but it's like, how many years do we have to wait? We've been talking about it for a while now. At least 2 years, right? When did who out there can tell me when the last Beckwith novel hit? Was it 2 years ago yet? Gotta be getting close. That's not what I need. That would have been bad.
Ahsoka, anyone? You know, Fanatic? You talking about the show? Which I have not watched.
Yeah, me neither. I'm big enough into Star Wars, and don't know anything about Ahsoka. That came from a time where I didn't pay attention to Star Wars, so.
Yeah, it's tough for me because I've not watched Clone Wars.
I know she's like a rogue Jedi. She left the Jedi Order when
She
Order
got kicked
60
out.
whatever. Oh,
No,
she got kicked
out ahead of time.
as a Padawan because she couldn't hack it.
Yeah, she was Anakin's Padawan, and she got accused of murder or something, and the Jedi Order turned on her and threw her out. And then she ended up getting cleared of any wrongdoing.
But then she didn't want to have anything to do with them.
Well, she ran away.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like, instead of like going on trial, she ran away. That's what it was. She left. He was like, well, Anakin was just like, hey, well, we will find a way to make this happen or something like that. And then she was like, sorry, I don't trust them to get it right. And then she leaves or something.
Gotcha.
And then she eventually gets acquitted of any wrongdoing. And they were like, hey, you can come back now. And she was like, screw you guys.
Yeah.
You guys suck. So she's like a
rogue.
Yeah, no longer a Jedi.
But Force sensitive and all that stuff.
She's trained as a Jedi, yeah.
Has all the training. But didn't she take a apprentice?
Yes. Which I didn't know until I started watching the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka and realized that I needed to like watch other things first. Because there's a bunch of, so you're familiar with Star Wars Rebels?
I mean, I'm familiar with it in name, not.
But yeah. I've not watched it either. But the Star Wars Rebels, from what I understand, is the thing that you need to have watched to make Ahsoka make sense.
That's what everybody said.
Yeah.
Is that if you have not seen Rebels, you need to go back and watch it.
Yeah. Because like her Padawan is like one of the characters that's prominently featured in Rebels throughout like the entirety of its like 5-season run.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And Ahsoka is prominently in that show for a long time. So
yeah, not anything I care about.
Yeah.
Heard it's good.
It's definitely a kids cartoon.
Everybody says that it is less of a kid's cartoon as it goes on. But I found that most of those things that I tried to watch were kind of like in between. You know, they were like,
yeah.
It's very hard to say what you would call it, but
I can't get past the Saturday morning cartoon.
Well, huzzah, huzzah! I'll just throw back my
That's my
legs and
problem.
pollute my
that
britches
vibe
with
doesn't
delight.
gel with you.
Route the Grey, thank you for that sub.
Yeah, the creator of the show calls it season 5 of Rebels, which is funny. Route the Great, hey, what's up?
Much appreciated, Route. Good to see you.
Welcome to the show today.
Yeah, like I said, Star Wars hasn't been for me for a long time. I just never kept up with any of the other universe stuff that they started to make.
I find the lore interesting. I don't particularly care to find it out on my own. Because all of the parts that I would want to watch to consume that information are all like Saturday morning cartoons, which I have a hard enough time with like American animation style. I don't particularly care for it. So
Very dynamic model.
yeah, that's really neat. Seems super fragile though. Is it pretty solid?
I mean, it's got 4 legs touching the ground, and they're okay thick. They're not
That's
great.
not too bad.
Their point where they connect to his waist is a little bit lacking. So that, like, this one already looks like it's cracking. So maybe we reinforce that a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I really want to watch the show because there's some like cool moments from the show that I've heard about. And I'm like, ooh, that would be really cool to watch. Yeah, Xenophonetic, I don't know what it is about American animation that feels so childish to me. And by the second part of that, how I can watch like anime and not feel like it's childish. I don't know what the deal is with that. That it's just a feeling that I have about it, and I don't know why that is the case.
Well, the
Thor's
kind of
Paws, have a good
anime
weekend.
that Rebels and stuff uses doesn't have a whole lot of artistic nature to it.
That's true.
Well,
it's art. I mean, yes.
And the anime can, but anime by and large doesn't either. You know, like anime about teenagers in high school saving the world and stuff is generally pretty lackluster until the fight scenes. And even then, sometimes it's a little too primary color, stuff like that. But again, it all comes down to what you like, you know?
Yeah.
Japanese animation, Korean animation, all that stuff can be, you know, across a broad spectrum. I don't particularly like the disproportionate anatomy of traditional anime. So, you know, more Western animation has always made better visual sense to me. The big eyes, you know, weird mouth movements, kind of thing is just not anything I've ever cared about.
But I mean, American animation has weird proportions too.
Not always.
A lot of it can.
Not near like Japanese. You're not going to win that fight. There's nothing that's, you know, a huge head, huge eyes, out of proportion American stuff, unless it's some sort of an alien.
I feel like most of them are like super out of proportion bodies, sizes.
Yeah. Maybe they're trying to be anime. Like you won't see any of that in Disney, see any of that in Western animation in general.
Well, for me, Disney is a little different. Which is interesting. Disney has less of that.
Arcane is some of the best stuff by far.
Oh, I mean, Arcane's insane. That show like is mind-blowingly good. From all aspects. The story is good, the animation is incredible, the art style's super unique.
Like when the main character is an anthropomorphic horse, that's not what I'm talking about. Nothing on Adult Swim counts.
Yeah, see, but that's the kind of stuff that I think about.
BoJack Horseman does not count.
Yeah.
For me.
Because it's like, you think about like Dexter's Lab, right? Like, Dexter's head is freaking gigantic. Think about like a lot of the old like...
Yeah, but that's trying specifically to go after that whole...
Yeah,
Powerpuff Girls Japanese animation type stuff that's all dates back to like Hello Kitty. That's all that same strain. That's just
true.
Western people doing Japanese style doesn't count. That's Japanese animation.
That's fair.
You know, because that's 100% what Dexter's Lab is. It's 100% what a lot of those Adult Swim things were Europeans and Western.
I guess when I think about it, I think about like things like the Batman animated.
But I mean, you could even say
like
Warner Brothers cartoons and things like that with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and all those kinds of things had weird cartoony proportions, and you'd be right. But that's not what I'm talking about, right? Those are cartoons. I'm talking about animation.
Okay.
Animation is Disney.
That's a clear delineation.
Disney is the core crux of Western animation.
Yeah.
Everything the Western is based off of what Disney did with animation because they were the first that did it. Everything else is out of that.
Okay.
For the West.
When you cut out cartoons, which I think is a fair
Totally different
thing
thing.
to cut out.
Yeah, totally different thing.
For me, I combine them. But now that you make the argument, I can see how those can be separated.
Yeah, totally different thing.
And
Cartoons
then,
were made to be very, very short You know,
Yeah.
they were, you know, not intended for initially like feature length. So you got very quick, more like like newspaper funny pages, sketches, right?
But I mean, animation, like anime, is a lot similar to that because it's done in.
Which is why it's horrible proportions. Ta-da! We've come full circle. Western to me, Western animation was really made about feature length movies,
Yeah.
not about because it had its cartoons.
Yeah.
I don't know what Primal is. What is Primal?
It's an interesting.
Last Airbender, I don't know. You know,
Airbender is good. It's not. It's a great show. It was one of those shows that I watched despite the writing style.
so like if you look at it, the thing that I enjoy the most out of modern animation is going to be things like what they do in Love, Death, and Robots, when they have, you know, it can even be cartoony in its presentation style, but the proportions are more reasonable in a lot of those. But even like Ghost in the Shell, it's still, they always have their buddy cop character, right? The one with the big eyes and everything else, which is always weird to me in those shows, because you have everybody that you can see like they were trying to animate them to be sort of normal, and then there's a character that's meant to be comic relief. It's always weird and out of whack. Sometimes it's a robot, you know. Sometimes it's a kid, you know. The chief in Ghost in the Shell was always weird. He had the weird proportioned head. Primal by Samurai Jack. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these are good stories to watch. I just don't like things because, and we go back to what we started talking about, is they feel childlike when they present them as cartoons to me, because I come from the age where there were cartoons, right, that were for children, right, and then there was animation like X-Men or the early Spider-Man stuff, or even when you look at it, although again, Spaceship Yamamoto, while it had some characters with decent proportion, whenever they got emotional, they went back to that really flared out weird design. Their heads and eyes
They
and
do
everything would
exaggerate
grow
really heavily
to show
yeah.
emotion in their
Yeah.
cartoons, and so it was like, what the heck just happened? Then they go back to sort of normal. You know,
That is definitely a style thing. In
you know, even like
Japanese animation.
Evangelion, it was all pretty much on proportion and was easier to watch. And then they had like the comic side of it was the penguin, the pet penguin, right? So they always have that weird character that is some sort of laugh track that's weird.
That show definitely needed a little bit of lightness added to the story.
Yeah, the chief has changed a lot, Game Delay, for sure. But even like if you go into the manga, even like Battle Angel, right, and stuff like
Alita?
that, has some things with weird proportions. Just not my thing. Anime has definitely become a style. They teach classes on it. They teach classes on how to draw anatomy incorrectly.
I think you should never take those classes until you have done enough time learning how to do it right first.
But what if
Yeah,
you
it's weird
only wanna
xenophonetic.
be-
I wonder if there is like a
What if you only want to
outline
be
they
an
follow.
anime
Who has the
artist?
big eyes?
You don't care about the rest of it.
Because it is better, you create better art in my opinion if you are purposefully drawing something inaccurately but based on something that you understand the function of. Right? Like if I understand how an arm moves and how that form is supposed to look, I can exaggerate it in a way that still
Yes.
represents what it's supposed to be
Yes.
without it being inaccurate. If you only ever know what the inaccurate version of it looks like, you have no understanding of how the motion is supposed to be, how the true form is supposed to act, so that when you draw it, it doesn't look right, it doesn't move right, it doesn't
Correct.
feel right.
Right. We've said that on stream a lot. Is that you have to know what the rules are before you can
You
break
break
them
them.
in an effective manner.
Right.
Otherwise, you look like a 3-year-old drawing whatever it is that's being drawn.
Yeah.
I had this argument at a gallery in New York. It was a
Yeah.
gallery opening. A bunch of friends were there, and I was like, the thing that disturbs me about this is I can tell that the artist doesn't know how to draw a human being.
Yep.
Because all the humans were these weird proportions, but not in a Picasso-esque sense, right? Because people would be like, well, Picasso, look at Picasso stuff. And I was like, dude, Picasso, if you look, made some portraiture that was phenomenal. Before he went on his weird drug trip and created all the art we know him for, one of the best anatomy painters in the history of mankind. He knew anatomy so that when he went and did his distorted stuff, it could make sense. You could feel like what you were looking at, you understood it. When you know somebody can't really draw, but they can paint these things, and you're like, and people go, well, I don't understand what you're talking about. What does it look like if somebody doesn't know how to do humans and then makes, out of proportion things? And I go, like this, and point to the painting on the wall. I like, that's the disturbing thing.
But what if that's their intention?
What's that?
What if that's their intention?
Well, there it was under the premise that this person was a fine artist. And I'm like, well, define this for me. Because I can tell you they don't know proportional art, Not that you have to present proportional art to everybody. You don't have to draw perfect horizon lines and architectural drawings. But like Jordan is saying, if you know those things and you study those things and you internalize those rules, then breaking the rules, you can still twist them on their head, but what you give people is something emotional that they can attach to because it becomes that uncanny valley. There's something they know is intended to go on here. Because sometimes you just look at art and no matter if you're a critic or not, you look at it and you go, my 3-year-old could draw better than that. But this painting's $80,000. And that was the conversation we were having, right? Because I was just, I was a brat and I was challenging this person to draw. Show me something you know how to draw, which they couldn't, but their painting was $80,000, so that's good.
The other part of it too, and I think it registers a lot more in a perceivable fashion for people.
Big Bob, what did
when
you
you're
ask
talking
for
about
again?
Animation.
What did Big Bob ask for on his
I
instructions?
have no idea. I don't do that anymore. So I didn't know, and he wouldn't tell me. So I can't help you.
Draw Trogdor.
Somebody was probably like, I don't know what this is.
They probably thought that you fell on the keyboard.
I don't know what this is.
I think so. That's interesting. I wonder how many people, if we went around the office and we asked who Trogdor is, how many people would get it?
Very few.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
So Trogdor was for me an early 2000s thing because Homestar Runner was early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, as the internet was finding its way and Flash, right, became a thing. And speaking of animation, right, digital animation via Flash, as all of us were tinkering around with it, this one guy in maybe Pennsylvania, did he live in Pennsylvania, Maryland? He lived somewhere on the East Coast, Carolinas. This guy is genius level comedy. And he made this website that's still operational today, I believe. It's homestarrunner.com. Go look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Go to Homestar or just Google Homestar Runner. I believe the website he still runs.
Oh, you've told me. Okay.
He's done a lot of other projects since because he got hired on
you
to
told me about
collaborate with a
this,
bunch of
and
stuff.
We spent a whole day, looking at.
Yeah,
the
Strong Bad
Homestar.
Email, and they're hilarious.
Yeah. But I would not have known.
No, but one of the characters in that was Trogdor, and because Strong Bad drew a picture for somebody, I think it might have been from Strong Bad Email where he was supposed to do that, or it might have just been a thing, but he drew something and it was a dragon. It's exactly what we're talking about. He can't draw, so he drew an S and then turned it into a dragon and gave it an arm. It has one arm and it's really muscular. It looks like a human muscular like weightlifter arm on it, and it's breathing fire. And then there's a whole song. Burninating the countryside.
So,
Burninating the peasants.
Like,
yeah, Trogdor burninates the peasants. Exactly.
That's the intention, then, is to make it kitschy and weird.
Oh, yeah, it's hilarious.
So why is it wrong?
It's not wrong. Those are not the same.
I know, but what if that's like the intention is they want it to look like it was.
No, this
drawn-
person was literally telling me that this was.
Well, I know, but like in the bigger conversation, I'm not talking just about
So-
yours.
Oh, well, I was just talking about mine.
So I think for me, to get more into the nitty gritty of it, I think the biggest impact is in animation.
Strong sad.
Because you can have all of this exaggerated stuff, but if your character doesn't move right,
Right, but again, I'm going back to the fact that this all started because you had said that you shouldn't try drawing anime until you know how to draw correct or accurate anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I'm not interested in animation, I just enjoy drawing and it's the way I want it to be. Like why do I need to feel like someone's going to say, "Oh, you don't know how to."
I mean, I'm not going to say you don't know how to draw.
Wait.
I think
Let's
it's better
kibosh
to
this.
learn it
We're
first.
only talking about the world where you're presenting this to the masses, right? In a way that you would get perplexed if it wasn't consumed in mass quantities the way you had hoped it. Like if you're doing this for profit and people backlash at you and said it's crappy animation, right?
I don't think that's what we're talking about, though, was it?
Oh, that's where we were, yeah. Stuff that was commercially viable is what we were talking about. Homestar PVC figure set. Oh my god.
I personally generally think it's better to know.
Yeah, like Strong Sad was a phenomenal. All of the characters in that. If you don't know what we're talking about, go to homestarrunner.com and watch the stuff. The best stuff is to spend half your day going through Strong Bad email. Go back to the very beginning and watch Strong Bad email. I don't even know. Like Flash doesn't exist anymore. So did he change that whole thing over? Right? Because Flash stopped being supported. Does this? I guess the site still works. Because Jen and I went and looked at it.
Oh God, you're talking about Flash, like Flash. I was like trying to figure out what you were talking about for a second, and then it just hit me that you were talking about what you were talking about.
Game Delay. Yep, it's an email on how to draw a dragon. I remember that. A board game for Trogdor. For like JavaScript or HTML5. Oh, so you can get like a plugin or something that allows old Flash stuff to still run. Somebody made some sort of translator. Because I remember when they depreciated Flash, and I was really bummed. I remember thinking I was going to be very bummed that Homestar was going away, even though I don't look at it, but like every 4 years when we talk like this, like it just comes up in conversation. Hey guys, what are you doing? We're looking at a thing in a bag. Only cool guys can do it. I want to be a cool guy. The actual character Homestar Runner is superb. What about things like an Order of the Stick? I don't know what you're talking about. XKCD and Order of the Stick. You can sit around and you can throw out individual anecdotal evidence that shows that things can be popular and they're made by people that can't draw technically. And that's fine. Those things exist, right? That people can be drawn to.
That goes back to my point that I was making.
They talk about this in the French Dispatch. They talk about testing an artist's ability to draw a sparrow in 5 minutes to see if he understands anatomy, to see if his modern art is by design or just nonsense. And that's where I'm coming from, right? I'm not saying that you should judge it if it's nonsense, right? But we're saying that if you want to be able to appeal to that broader audience in a commercial sense, at least what I'm saying is if you want to be able to appeal to a broader audience and feel like you have a command over your art, then that knowledge base of the rules, and I always say that art really doesn't have rules, but the world has rules. Things look a particular way because gravity interacts on them a particular way and science is involved. Well, let's take that out of the question. Not science, truth is involved, right? And things work a certain way. If all of your drawings bust the rules or don't understand the rules, eventually it'll be weird to the point where it's just a proven fact that people will navigate away from those things that feel ultra false, right? Like Keith Haring. Keith Haring was actually a good artist. And I say that good artist, that sounds derogatory, but he was an artist that had ability to do things that were more realistic outside of his graffiti that everybody knows him for, right? But that's what made his graffiti kind of work the way that it did. The knees were kind of proportional on the legs, even though it looked like it was a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, right? If the elbow were right before the wrist, and then there was a wrist, and then a long arm to the shoulder, you can get away with it for 1 or 2 times. But over the course of a journey, you get, I don't want to say found out to be a fraud, but people will start to recognize, right, that there is no truth behind what you're doing, right?
I think another way to frame it is having a knowledge of of what it should look like
Well, that's awesome gameplay.
helps inform you how far you can push something before it becomes completely like illegible. Because like if I know how to draw a tiger really, really well, I have a better understanding of what makes a tiger. So
Switch.
I can draw a non-proportionate one in a way that can better suit it looking like a tiger. Is the best way I can describe it in like a...
Hipster Gubby says Flash is still around, but no longer updated and supported by Adobe. Well, that means it's not around. You can just still find the old version of it, right? You can probably get it on like GitHub. Because like I can still run Flash from CS3, right, on my computer and build stuff in Flash, and it'll make files that you can watch as animations. So that's true. It's just I wonder how hard it is to then make those and post them someplace. I thought Flash was ingenious for its time. The whole keyframe animation stuff was amazing with vectors and things. It was awesome.
Twitch Summerlin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Dapperwalkie, this is Cherubael from the Eisenhorn series. That's what it's meant to represent. It's by Artel W Miniatures in Europe. They do their own sculpts based on things they like. And so this is Cherubael. There was a Cherubael miniature done by Games Workshop that was in that weird 50mm metal. And they might have done like, what do they call it? Fine cast out of it at one point.
Oh, it was one of the... God, what was the name of that game?
Well, it was called Inquisitor. And
yeah.
So they did an Inquisitor game that had, I don't know, maybe 12 or 15 models for it. Eisenhorn was one of them. They had a couple of the assassins. They had a Space Marine sergeant, like a Death Watch captain or a Death Watch sergeant. There was Cherubael. There was like a Chaos fanatic from the Red Hand or whatever it was. There was some neat models in it, but it was weird. It was 50mm, weird kind of RPG skirmish game along the lines of Mordheim for sci-fi, but it was a 50mm. It was a weird deal, and the models were super expensive for the time. Like in the early 2000s, the Inquisitor models were like, I don't know, $35 for a model or something like that. Very expensive game. Yeah, you're wondering if it's for the Inquisitor 54. It's actually a 75mm model, so it's a little bit bigger. But yeah, it's along those lines, right? And it's done a lot better, obviously, with modern digital sculpting techniques and stuff. It's a phenomenal model. The Artel sculpts that they do are phenomenal. We've done another one of theirs, which was my Orc War Boss on Trike. They did.
Oh yeah. I painted one of those actually.
They do phenomenal sculpt, and their resin is really amazing.
It is
the
really
quality
good.
Of their resin is really, really good. You can tell they use smooth on, but I don't. Their casting process is pretty phenomenal. They don't have a lot of problems with their models. Not a lot of mold lines and stuff like that. Did you ever see a website? Did you ever see the website Gabo Corp? Music is a good sense like that, right? T. Schmidt, it's like rock and roll with classical training. In my experience, people that like myself that are just hack musicians that started playing, if you get to a point where you get a little bit of like traction and your albums start to sell, you'll find a lot of those artists go get trained, especially vocalists, right? People like myself that never had any vocal training. Had I wanted to stick with music and keep singing, there was a point where people will stop appreciating it at the level you're trying to get to, because your funnel goes like this as you get more exposure. You reach more and more people, and in a microcosm, those people can love the nuance of what you're doing at a real gritty punk rock level. But as you start to become, bigger and bigger, you got to get like a vocal coach. You have to get some guitar training. Otherwise, your stuff has a limit on what you can provide, and it becomes so samey that nobody likes it. So music's a very good way to say that. Doesn't mean that there aren't still some anecdotal bands that can get out there and play the exact same song for 80 years. Hello, Bad Religion. But still
AC
get away with it.
Miniatures has just arrived. Where is the 75mm from?
Hello.
Asking for a friend. Artel W.
Faustino, thank you.
Artel W.
What's up, Aaron? How's it going?
And I also have this one. which has way too many pieces for me to put together today. But this is Sanguinius. They have this amazing Sanguinius model.
Oh, that's a really nice wing.
Yeah, the wings have got like these, you know, like ties and them, like fabric tie and stuff like that. But the
Oh my god, he is in a gajillion
yeah, it's a
pieces.
gajillion pieces.
What
That's
the
why I looked
heck?
at it and I was like, oh, stoked, I'll build Sanguinius, and I'm like, nope. Like every
oh, that was
joint,
horrible.
every
Why is
joint,
it in
like
so many
his
pieces?
yeah, his hip and half of his thigh. It's just his hip and his butt cheeks. So the thigh and the knee. Oh, there's a leg that's all together.
Aaron, is it Fulgrim number 4 time? You guys painted a lot of Fulgrims.
Yeah, yeah, this is a lot of pieces. And I don't think it has any posability, so it seems kind of nutty that it isn't this many pieces. But the detail on it's really, really incredible, so maybe that's it. But it has a Spirit Telesto, it's got the sword, it's got all the stuff that you can build him from whatever era. It's got where you can put him standing on the demon head. I don't know what demon it is. Not Angron, it's that other one that he killed. Got him helmeted and helmetless. It's got like 3 head options and great model. I bought it on the pre-release months ago. Finally showed up. I'll build it. Maybe I'll build that this weekend. Who knows? But the other one is Cherubael, Aaron. If you've read the Eisenhorn series, this is the demon host Cherubael that Eisenhorn makes out of his interrogator. It's like, thank you for your service. Enjoy being a demon. Enjoy your personal hell for the rest of your days. I am going to get the airbrush on.
Get the airbrush on.
I'm going to walk in front of the camera.
How you doing over there, Jen?
I'm doing all right.
Having a good
How are
time?
you?
I'm doing great.
What'd I do? What'd you do? What'd you do?
Nothing.
What do you do?
I was sorry, not paying attention.
Everything and nothing.
Is that a weird model? I've heard they've gotten a lot better.
Weird?
Don't tell me they have Primarchs. Well, they have Sanguinius, because Sanguinius on Forge World absolutely is atrocious.
Just said, oh lordy, they have 54mm Eldar. This is dangerous.
Oh, he did? Oh, they have 54. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they do some larger scale one-offs for characters. They have the entire Eisenhorn Warband. They have some fun stuff. They make great sculpts. They're not just knockoffs. They have their own vision. I think they're kind of like me. Like, if I could digitally sculpt, I would make a Sanguinius, because the Forge one is one of the worst models I've ever seen in my life.
It's really bad.
The pose is bad.
It truly is horrible.
The pose is horrible, and the face looks like Bill Nye the Science Guy. Not Sanguinius. Like, he's the ugly. He's skinny. It's like they took Fulgrim's face. Sorry, Aaron. Like, they took Fulgrim's head and just changed the hair and stuck it on Sanguinius. Because somebody thought Fulgrim was beautiful. I'm like, I mean, that's subjective, but
I will say the new Fulgrim Forge World model looks really cool.
the one, the demon form.
The snake one, yeah.
It's kind of cool. But it's only a heresy model. So
I mean, it's just a cool model.
yeah, it's a cool model.
Yeah.
I'm not an Emperor's Children fan. Aaron's gonna hate me, but whatever. Whatever.
I mean, you take that back.
You
Well-
take that back.
Well, hold on. Aaron, here's a good question. You like Emperor's Children so much. Why is your heresy army Sons of Horus?
Sons of Horus.
This doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, he can like multiple bad things.
Hey now.
You have to disagree. Sigismund taking a dump in a square is the worst Forge World model. Sigismund with the really bad one where he's walking with the shield, that one. I'm just talking about Primarchs. I wasn't trying to get on a conversation of what Forge World models have disappointed us. We'll be here all day.
We will be here all day. That's fair.
He wanted a more flexible list than I charge and smack you with a sword. True.
That's fair.
Emperor's Children are kind of like World Eaters, except purple.
And don't do it as well.
Well, they do it pretty well. They have Swordmaster stuff. It's pretty crazy.
That's true.
But yeah, Sons of Horus is definitely the Chaos version of Imperial Fists almost.
Yeah.
What do you want them to do? Okay. Buy those models. They do that.
Yeah, they like lean towards being melee focused, but are generally good at kind of doing everything. Pale yellow. Pale yellow. Right there.
Who wants to place the bet on how many times I break that chain off while painting this guy?
2.
Okay.
I think it's going to be twice.
You got that wrong. You were supposed to say, I am not going to break this chain when I paint this model. You're manifesting now that it will break.
I know myself better than that. I will try very hard. Although I didn't break the bullet thing off of Horus, and I was sure that was going to happen. The ammo belt.
I'm so happy I don't have to paint that model again.
So about that, Jen and I were talking, and we think what would make for some really good content. This was her idea, not mine. I just want you to know.
How quickly am I about to walk out the door?
And Jen said,
Oh,
that
blame Jen.
you painting another 3 Horuses simultaneously, all in different color schemes, would be what would really take us to the next level.
Sounds like death. Sounds like death.
Jenny said no. He said he doesn't want to do it.
Yes, you gotta do it.
Huh?
Oh,
gotta do it.
dang.
No.
Jen just throwing it back.
No. I have a get out of jail free pass. I'm busy.
Can we make Gabe do it?
Huh?
Can we make Gabe do it?
Oh my god. Can you imagine? Okay, so in this series, kids, we're going to have one random Monument employee come through and paint for us.
Not the slightly more simplistic one, which I also have to paint, by the way.
The older one?
Yeah. I also have that model.
Takes issue with the word random as a random employee.
No, I meant everybody, not just you. You're not random. I was like, we would pull from a hat who would have to come in and paint Horus next. Bill would do it. Christmas Sushi would do it. He didn't work for us, but he'd fall on that sword for somebody. The thing is Jordan would still wind up painting a billion Horuses because he'd have to teach everybody how to do it.
I mean, I can explain how to do it without touching the model. Challenge accepted. Or we get Kyle to paint one.
Kyle's a good painter. Kyle's actually a very good painter.
Excited to see
decided to play a full game against him and get my butt kicked.
Kyle dates back to the day when I feel like everybody that were, especially in the West, everybody that was a manager level or above at the store or the region level was a phenomenal painter. I don't know if that's still the case. You would like to think so. That was like the heyday for my perspective.
Yeah, Aaron, the old one is actually pretty nice. It does hold up really well.
Does it though?
Yeah, it does, actually.
I think it's a really bad pose. I think the design of those, a lot of them lack.
Well, they're certainly over-designed. That's for sure.
I don't like his pose. Gilliman's pose is horrible. Dorn's pose is horrible. Fulgrim's pose is iffy. If they hadn't turned him into skinny pants guy, that could have been a much better model. But they all harken from a different time too. Their scale felt a lot better up against, Firstborn Marine style scale models, which is where they were.
Yeah.
As opposed to now with Primaris, now all of them just feel bad.
Well, even the regular Horus Heresy Marines are bigger scale than Trueborn.
Oh yeah, the new Mark 6.
Yeah, they're a little larger.
They just redid the Mark 3, right? Mark 3 the Mark 3 or Mark 4 armor.
Yeah, I think it's coming out soon.
We saw at the Nova Open preview, I think.
Indeed.
Air Asylum said Jordan a tutorial video on how you're doing the non-metallic on
On the gold?
Yeah, that warm gold's really nice.
Yeah. I could do that. It's definitely going to get a lot more dirty.
Feels very small now. Yeah. Well, and even not small, they just made them too skinny. They made all of the armor for those guys like if you were to, I love the old pictures that people did of, say, like the Terminator. Can I get the paper towels? Yeah. The Terminator and the Space Marine, people would draw, going back to our anatomy and art question, right? Space Marines have always been a bone to pick, because if you look at the armor and the sizing of Firstborn Marines as models, obviously it doesn't work, right? Where's his abdomen, where's his guts? Doesn't make it any less neat. It's just, if you really dig in, it's like, yeah, this is kind of funky. If you were to do those drawings, somebody did it for one of the Primarchs, I forget which one it was, it might have been Fulgrim, and show like the scale of his leg inside the armor for the armor to have any thickness as a material all the way around, and it would have had like literally like chicken legs, like this, because the way the armor was in scale. And then you have stuff like, like the Bolter-Eugen guy who makes the true scale heresy stuff that I've been painting for my Blood Angels. Yeah. And you look at that and you're like, they don't have the excuse of it wouldn't have looked good, because it looks fantastic when you make it look like the art, which is they're super bulky, but they did it proportionally to where, well, some of the art's bad. Some of the art is that the head is super tiny, like the big Marine with the banner we're painting, right? Where his head is like,
I really like when they have the small head on the huge armor, because it feels like the armor is super thick.
Yeah. But you have to look at how the arms would bend and things like that. not an easy task. You start realizing that you can't have. There's a reason why plate mail wasn't made out of like 1 inch thick plate.
Yep.
Not just because of the weight of it, because you can't move. But don't let your reality get in the way of my fantasy. And that is a truism here. But it goes back to the original conversation. You just want to know enough about how the body moves so that when you draw this armor, you give it some semblance of, okay, that might work. It's like the infinity tag thing. Where
But
are
you're
the
saying
pilot's
that-
legs?
You're saying there are models that are not correct like that? If you really knew about anatomy, they would be
Oh,
back.
yeah. All of the
Thousands
Space
of them.
Marines up until recently were like that.
Yeah,
So-
thousands of them.
What's that?
No, I'm just saying it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, that or like you were saying, that if it's supposed to be commercially, accepted, that it should be, that you should have an understanding of anatomy. But this
Yeah.
is something that's very widely made and used, right? That's wrong.
But it's been lambasted since the beginning because of that, is what I'm saying. It's caused a lot of not backlash that's probably cost them any money per se, but it's always been something where it's been the meme, so to speak, that,
It's been talked about pretty extensively.
where are the tag pilot's legs? It's that kind of thing. Like
This guy's
when we
been
were painting
skipping leg
Infinity,
day.
and we're like, how does this magazine of bullets work? Avian, what's happening?
Not an avian tholium? Hello.
IGN had a medieval armor expert review different video game armor, including Space Marine armor.
Revicara, thank you.
But like again, there's a medium. Like you don't want to get to the point where you're like actually, and the rivet counter style, because that saps the fun out of fantasy. You want to be able to know that you started from the rules. That when you pick up a Space Marine, right, like the old time Space Marines, right. Raise your hand if your mouth is that close to your crotch. Right? Like the guy has no abdomen. It goes from his pecs. He doesn't have a place for a belly button. Let's not talk about the fact that they're probably vat-born or something like that, but, it's just bad anatomy.
Do you think that that's just like you, because you have that knowledge? Because I look at that and it doesn't look weird to me.
Well, over time, so if you saw that and you saw other models, it would though, right?
If you
Because
saw it compared to
even
something
Games
that was
Workshop
correct.
gets anatomy correct and similar things. Like their fantasy models always had better anatomy than the Space Marines. So people who you didn't even have to know, and that's kind of my point, is that you get the feeling that it's like something's different here. And you don't have to know what it is. It just causes that kind of a thing.
Like, this guy's not too bad.
Tobias Capwell, who is the head of the armory department for the Wallace collection. Dude knows.
Avian, who's Jan?
You would hope so. Jen. They
Jen.
mistyped.
It says Jan.
Is your new name now Jan?
No.
Hi, Jan.
Hi, Jan.
I'm just wondering if someone broke in that we
Have
don't
you been
know
a
about.
Janice all this time?
God.
The combi bolter that holds 12 bolts? Yeah, I know. Plate armor, when it was being used, was also considered disposable, so if it saved you through a battle or a campaign, it did its job. Yeah. Fulgrim is an elder emo. Skinny jeans are a requirement. Jen, codename Jan.
I don't need a code name.
Yeah, you do.
Lord
You know what it
Commander.
is? Lord Commander. That's actually more of a title,
Well,
not
that-
a. That's a title.
Yes, Lord Commander. Maybe we do some Zenithal on him for Schnaps. First of her name. Fifth first of her name.
Avian, I'm just giving you a hard time. My whole life, I haven't been called Jan, but people spell my name wrong.
People
Every
spell
day.
Jennifer wrong?
Hoffman. Every day.
Is it the thing that I did with the N's and the F's at one point in time?
What did you what?
So her
My last name is spelled not in
Hoffman.
a common way.
And
Not a common
rather
way?
than
Not a
two
common
F's,
way.
it's two N's at the end, one F.
No, not my first name, my last name.
Yeah, because the more traditional way is FF and then one N, right?
Yeah, and one N. Like Dustin. It's in there though. I could see where it could be confusing. Wow, tomato in.
Tom.
I ran out of gas. I had a flat tire. I didn't have enough money for cab fare. My tux didn't come back from the cleaners. An old friend came from out of town. Someone stole my car. There was an earthquake, a terrible flood, locusts. It wasn't my fault. I swear to God. All right, I'm gonna let it go just this one time. Tom, short for tomato.
It is short for tomato. That is Tom's new moniker. It's a terrible British accent. That's exactly what
Every
it was
now and
supposed
then
to be.
these, okay, working next to Baby J is a thrill. Because every now and then, these weird character voices come out as he's answering you guys. And I don't know if you can tell, but it catches me. I'm like, what the?
It's like, where did that come from?
What is going on over there? You okay? You feeling alright?
Hey, look. Sometimes my
No, he's Wad
alter
Tom.
ego.
Aton. He's not Wad Tomato. He's Wad Tomaton.
Tom, short for tomato. That's what I said.
I keep getting called Tom, like, all this week. Yes, every time I see you in another chat, he says, hey, what's up? Monument.
Tom.
And I'm
Hey,
like,
what's up, Tom?
What's going on, Tom?
And everybody on Twitch, all the streamers are gonna start calling him Tom. Hey, Tom.
It's becoming a thing.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you need to do that. He's gonna change his avatar to a picture of Tom from MySpace, but his head was replaced with a tomato.
Yes.
Yes, in that.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it, do it. Jen's serious about this. Tommy! Tom from MySpace. Holy hell. That guy, he was like sitting at a whiteboard, right? Wasn't that his picture? Was him just
He
grinning
was,
at,
like,
a
turned
whiteboard in a conference
sideways.
room?
Like,
Didn't he recently come and like smoke the guy from Facebook in a chat someplace?
Zuckerberg?
Huh? Zuckerberg, yeah. I feel like Tom came back and dropped a zinger on Zuckerberg when Zuckerberg was talking about, maybe he made something about MySpace during all the Twitter stuff. That the guy Tom came back because he still exists.
yeah, he's a real person. Tom
He's a real
Anderson.
person. He made $1 bajillion though, selling
If there's
his
anything
stuff right
recent
before it was
news.
worthless.
Oh,
Saw his
he sold off MySpace before it
profile.
Yeah.
disappeared. into the
MySpace
ether.
just became a thing for music once Facebook kind of took over. Does it still exist?
Probably.
Kyra says, "Oh, Jason, have you told Jordan no dancing today? No dancing, no singing.
Guten
No
Morgen.
dancing, no singing. No dancing, no singing.
Buongiorno.
Times 1 million.
Times 2 million.
No, you don't get to do that.
times 3 million
No.
times
not
4
how you-
million
Times
when I
infinity.
search-
No dancing, no singing, ever.
times
Period.
infinity squared.
When I search MySpace Tom, a link comes up for MySpace.
Baka and Gosu, happy partner anniversary. We had no idea.
We
Wow.
unironically had no idea.
Until there's cake, I'm not taking it seriously.
Alright, we're on the cake train. Let's go.
Until there's cake and ice cream, I can't even take this seriously. Well, there's Horace right there.
That's not Horus.
Yeah, right there.
That's part of Horus, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just hanging out. Having a good time.
So true story, for like 2 weeks after I joined MySpace, I thought that was my Uncle Tom and was really confused and paranoid about it. Does he look like your uncle? Because he had a picture. Or is your uncle's last name Anderson?
Is his name
That could be
Anderson?
confusing.
Tommy Anderson?
Yeah.
What a super generic last name. Look at
Slayer Street, what's
one
going
of the most
on?
common.
Gosu, this is Cherubael from Eisenhorn trilogy.
Thank you for all the anniversary wish. Happy anniversary.
Yes.
We
Thank you so
didn't
much.
know.
Yeah, we literally had no idea. Not even a thing.
These guys deserve all the thanks and the hard work and the. I've only been here for like 6 months.
We literally had no idea. We don't really talk about it in that sense very often. We're always like, we've streamed forever. Ist my dark magenta. I don't want to use crimson. My magenta. What's that? Burgundy. Keep stealing my paints. Don't steal my paints.
That's mine. Get out of here. Just because you lost yours in your fine assortment over there doesn't mean that I stole it.
Well, I lost mine
Is this
because you
over
cleaned my desk.
That's literally it right
There
there.
it is.
I literally.
See, now
Okay.
you found it after you cleaned
For,
my desk.
for the record, just so y'all know what just happened, I took one look over at his side of the table, picked up the exact bottle that he was looking for, and handed it to him. It took all of 3 seconds for me to find it.
Ghost who said all Pro Curl belongs to Jason. Simmer down there, baby J.
I already have a bottle, thanks. There's no winning.
I got all the bottles he doesn't know about.
Damn it. I knew. The chickens, they're conspiring.
I'm not a chicken.
The
You trying to call me a chicken over here?
The chickens, they're conspiring. Happens more and more as time goes by. Mo knows. He's experienced it in his living room.
What?
Mo's like 67 years old. Very forgetful old man.
How old are you again?
Huh?
What?
How old am I?
No.
53.
Old enough to remember where your dark magenta is. Dang it.
Alright there, whippersnapper.
Okay, I forget way more than you do.
Did you say he's old enough to remember something?
Yes.
Goes the opposite way. Get older, you don't remember anything.
I'm young enough to forget things.
Not how that works.
This is also how it works. Definitely also works that way.
You seem very excited about it, Bakamaru. Bakamaru said, how's everyone doing today? I'm having an awful day.
Why would you exclaim that?
Oh, my wife grabbed my brushes delivery and claimed it for a Christmas gift.
Oh no. Wait, how does that work if you ordered them?
Well, Jordan, let's have a discussion about this.
Probably Get permission.
Kind of like when you go to the grocery store and you buy something delicious, take it home,
And you eat it?
and your partner claims it as their own.
I feel like you're speaking from experience.
Well, yeah, because I do it to Jen all the time. She buys delicious things, and I tell her she can't have them after I've tried them. I try to leave them for her,
But I eat them anyway.
but then and then she eats them anyway, so it doesn't really work. But in my brain,
Because I'm gonna do what I want.
she's a grown-ass woman. She does what she wants. It's
And
funny.
I
she'll-
did the hard part of going to the store and buying this stuff.
So you deserve it.
I tried the other day. She went and she got these fudge brownies, and they were like the other. I guess it was last week, right? I went to the grocery store just to get a quick something or other, and I was like, "Hey, baby, need anything?" And she was like, "Something delicious from the treats section."
The baked treats section.
The
I-
baked treats section.
did
And
that,
so
by
I
the
was
way.
like, "Okay, what does that mean?"
'Cause-
There's
huh?
a million of
I
them
got
because if
baked
you go to the
treats.
you go to that
baked
grocery
treats
store,
at
it's like,
Safeway, they're good.
there's 50 million baked treats
They have a
here.
lot of
I don't know
really
what to
good baked
do.
treats.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said anything. And one of the things I looked at was those damn fudge brownies. And I was like, I just don't think that she would like that much fudge. And because she likes cakey things. And so I didn't get them. I wound up getting something equally as good. But then she went to the grocery store and got the fudge brownies. And I had one, and I just kind of look at her and I go, so these are not yours anymore. She keeps eating them, so I don't know who to call. Or
They're
I'm
really big.
I'm
and-
pleading with you, chat. Help me here.
Well, because he said he didn't get them last time because he didn't think that they were like something I would like. And I said, "Oh, they're very much something I would like, but they're really big,
They're
and
huge.
I would have to cut it into like quarters and
Yeah.
eat a tiny."
I can only eat like a half of one at a time because
Yeah.
they're like, oh my god, rich.
But they're actually, as they get further from the date of purchase, they're actually getting better. I think.
They get like
A
crispy,
little
which sounds a little
crispy,
weird.
but it's so good.
I have
It's
been
because the
enjoying-
icing starts to be like
Yeah.
crunchy
Yeah.
almost.
So good.
Uh,
We really don't fight over treats
Oh,
or
no.
food.
No.
We have kind of different things that we like. So like Jason can go and buy a gigantic tub of chocolate ice cream and he knows I'm not going to touch it.
And all the cookies she buys, she knows I'm not gonna eat.
Yeah.
I'll eat like one
Yeah.
just because I'm like, I could use something just a tad sweet right now, and then I eat one and I remember why I don't eat her cookies.
Yeah.
Oh, Jen.
Yeah.
I picked up. So when I went, and I also went to the grocery store to get delicious, nutritious,
Treats.
not so nutritious
Yeah.
snacks. I got the the half Madeline, half brownie little cake things that you were talking
Oh,
about.
not the brookies? The chocolate chip cookie and the brownie?
Oh, I didn't see those.
Oh, that's the one I was talking about.
Oh,
It was a
okay. I thought you were
chocolate
talking
chip
about
cookie.
Madeline brownies.
Chocolate chip cookie on top of a brownie.
Where's that at?
Safeway.
Well, yeah. Well,
In that same.
Oh, I guess I just
Well,
passed
it's
over.
like, where's that at? The store
Well, yeah.
that you were at.
They don't
You
organize
have to look
that
around,
whole
dude.
section I mean, other than like all the bread is in one
Right,
section,
yeah.
but then the rest of the tables and stuff are all just like kind of random stuff.
Right. Okay.
But it's only like that big. It's like a square
And
like
sometimes
that
they don't
big.
have them.
Okay.
and a plastic.
They may not have just had them. Yeah.
A plastic clamshell,
Okay.
like all the
I
other.
was looking in the right spot.
Like I asked the
it's
lady
all
at the
there.
bakery when I was there if they had them. She goes, "No, we're sold out right now, but we'll have them back tomorrow."
Oh, okay. They may be around.
I did go after work.
Because that's what I was gonna get you that night. That before I just wound up picking the whatever the cheese Danish thing was.
No, we don't eat the paint around here.
Gosu, I have not had the strawberry shortcake yet from the grocery store. There were other things that required delicious attention.
It's only been like 6 months since we told him this, so we've given up. He's not interested.
It was whatever day it was the 4th of July, right? Because that's the day we did the stream where we got the cookies and it had the
Oh, yeah, it was
strawberry
our birthday
shortcake
stream.
cookies, and we learned that it was his favorite dessert, and we make it anytime.
I haven't had the hankering for it.
Bakamara, I've seen that pattern. That's funny. Jason, the one I made for Jason says, "Have a nice poop."
Have a nice poop.
Yeah.
In my bathroom.
That's delightful.
I miss cross stitching.
I need more time.
You haven't gangster stitched in a long time.
Long time.
Gangster stitch.
Oh, the gangster stitching.
Yeah, I had to call it gangsta stitching because when I started cross stitching, I was super into it, and I would like spend a whole day sitting and cross stitching. One day I found myself working on a project. I was sitting on the couch. I was listening. I think I had on like a yacht rock playlist, and I had like my legs covered with a blanket, and it made me feel like such an old lady that I immediately turned off yacht rock and turned on rap, so that I didn't feel like an old person.
Gangsta stitching. Gangsta
Got it.
stitching.
And I made an entire playlist called Gangsta Stitchin'. It's filled with like hardcore 90s rap music. Thug Life Arts and Crafts, that's what I used to call it.
That's my girl right there.
Yay, I'm almost done with those gold.
Yeah, Bakamaru, if she's feeling like it's an old lady hobby, just have her put on some rap. Completely changes your attitude. Plus, it goes along with a lot of the like the sweary stitching that I would do.
She puts curse words in her cross stitching, is what she's saying.
Yeah. Game delay, are you leaving? Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Most of the good cross stitches do have curse words. Yep. I feel like we would be friends, Bakamaru. Here's another one covered in rainbows and old printers. It says, "Damn, it feels good to be a gangsta." Looks cute, very sweary. Same.
Looks cute, very sweary.
Yep, coloring books too.
Jen's dark side comes out in her stitching. Oh, I love dark magenta.
It's amazing. One of the best.
It's like right in between our transparents and our normal colors.
What
It
is
doesn't
this?
use the transparent medium.
Dark magenta?
Yeah, but it's a single pigment paint. So it has the intensity of the transparents, but in a normal paint suspension.
Oh, it's 151
Holy cow.
already.
I got nothing to do.
I also got nothing.
I do.
Wait, no, I have stuff to do.
It's like, wait a minute.
I was like, wait a second. I honestly thought it was a Thursday for a second. It was like, oh yeah. I mean, I guess I could stay and paint until like 6 or something.
Nice recovery.
Dark
That was
magenta-
unironic explanation of what happened in my brain.
Is the dark magenta straight out of the pot?
Oh yeah, a little bit of. I'm using a number 6 brush with a little bit of water on it, so you can imagine like the number 6 will carry quite a bit of water, so it's fairly diluted on some of my brush strokes. But I'll just come back over that same area.
You gonna keep going after?
Jen says she can't, so Probably not. I need to sit with Gabe and work on the getting him acclimated to the webpage designer thing. So
Lizzie working on one of those.
I can do that today.
London pages.
Gabe's not gonna know what hit him. Wait a minute. I have to spend the rest of the Friday working with that guy?
Yes. This is a decision you're making.
Put a link in chat.
What's that?
Already got a link in chat.
For what?
Website stuff.
Of stuff he's done?
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe he's done.
So yeah, see, what if I told you the page is done? He said.
Well, then I'll keep painting then. That was my Friday.
Clarkatron said, just curious, why didn't you guys do that magenta before the signature series? It feels like it would have been a popular request.
I mean, all of them would have been, right?
Yeah.
Every paint we release would have been a popular request. That's the thing. It's, we just can't do them all at once. We have to build production around the number of paints we're able to turn around in a month's period. Actually, in a 2-week period, right? Like, how many paints can we produce in 2 weeks? Because our line churns through the building so fast. So if you make 300 paints, how long does it take you to fill 300 paints? So there's more at stake than just, what's a cool color, what will everybody like? Because we know that's the case, right, for most of the colors. It just becomes down to a mathematical equation on how much production can make before being overburdened. And then we triage down through all the cool colors we have to say, these make the most sense because we're underrepresented in this spot.
Definitely not 24 hours.
What, 24
A
hours?
stream?
No, paint filling. 8 to 4.
No.
8 to 4. That's it.
Not gonna happen.
We like the people that work with
Yeah,
us.
we really like our employees. We're not really trying to be that company.
Signature series, are the signature series colors always going to be around or become staple? They're not going anywhere. We don't have any.
No, even if, like,
Any
let's say a
plans to
signature
get rid of them?
artist and decided they no longer wanted to be part of the program, it's written into the contract that can happen. We don't tie anybody into anything. If, say, John Nenis, never wanted to do signature paints again or whatever, those colors would remain part of the Pro Acryl lineup. They would just remove the signature name from them. Yeah, they're here to stay. I say, as the years go on, we will more than likely evaluate colors on an ongoing basis. We haven't really done a whole lot of that to date. A little bit, but not a ton. Where we'll look at the line and say, is there a color that doesn't sell very well? We don't have that problem now, so we've never thought about it. But if we ever had that come up over a given period of time, what could we do to help enliven that color or get rid of it?
Upperwalkie, this link I'm about to post is for you, for your question. Nutrimentia, I think we're doing all right. Yeah. Got a lot of paint in stock. I don't think we need to work people any harder than they're already working. No, and I was just joking with you as well. If you want to buy it in bulk, take advantage of our bundle pricing.
5 gallons of Pro Acryl.
Oh my gosh. It'd be so much.
I think I did the math the other day. It'd be like $3,000.
Yeah.
Do we find one color sells more in certain regions than others? For example, reds sell more on the East Coast, blues on the West Coast.
No. No, white, black, red, worldwide bestsellers. White by a large margin, as you can imagine. being the color we're the most known for. But no, all of the favorite colors tend to sell similar. You know, our biggest sellers sell similarly worldwide. Now, we can't break that down to the nth degree either. So, you know, when I say that, it might be that is not necessarily the case. If you say what's the most the best selling color in Wales, you know, versus Australia, we don't track that way.
Fire Asylum said I'd paint a room in some of your colors. So here's what you do: find the color you like, take it to like Home Depot or a place that does the matching, and get them to make it. Much more cost effective.
Can you imagine?
Like, no, I really just want to use Pro Acryl on my wall.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I mean, we're only here to be the voice of reason.
Or
you do what you want.
You know what? I'll do this for you. If you want to buy that much paint for your walls, you just send me the money, and then I'll do the legwork of going to Home Depot for you, and I'll just keep the balance as my fee.
There you go. Jen, working the system.
Home Depot tastes better, probably.
Whoa.
I don't know. I don't eat paint.
Here we go.
Jen,
That's
you
it.
just opened up a door.
Clipped. CEO of Monument says, eat the paint. It's gonna happen in the tabloids. Coming. We're doomed.
I just said I don't eat the paint.
We're doomed. Have to issue a retraction tomorrow.
Flip what? I didn't say eat the paint. I said
You
I
said
don't
it would
eat the
taste
paint.
better.
I said Home Depot. I didn't say no. And I also
I
said
didn't
probably
say
because I don't eat the paint.
See, Nutra's thinking like I am. She said Home Depot tastes better. Ergo, you know how both PA
I
and
said
Home
Home
Depot
Depot
taste.
tastes better probably, but I don't know because I don't eat the paint.
We're doomed.
Oh.
Well, there was, so you're wrong.
Next YouTube video, paint taste test, Home Depot or Pro Acryl? Jordan decides.
No, that ain't happening. You will not find that video
Jordan decides.
on YouTube near you.
The can of worms released. Can't get us on that one. We'll claim deep fake. Poor editing. You wanted to paint your walls with your airbrush since big brushes and rollers are terrible
They make
and
those
annoying?
for walls.
Just wait till you try to paint it with your airbrush if you want to know what annoying feels like.
Spray paint, like you can buy a larger brush to spray paint your
Oh,
walls.
like an HPLV gun.
Yeah. They got the tools for that.
Yeah, but he said with my airbrush.
You are not going to be using your airbrush.
Not really
for
going
that.
to like that. Special painting nights have small designs. Just do this. Just do little swirly swirls of color across your entire house. And take video and let us know how that goes.
And we'll see you maybe never.
Uh-oh. I always wonder what that would be like, putting your compressor like 100 PSI and putting some house paint in it. Yeah, probably not good.
I'm deleting that Bakamar.
Bacchus.
I told you, I know what I say.
I worked so hard. The hammer dropped. Lord Commander Jen has spoken. I am
Yeah.
deleting that. Bacchus.
Listen to your Lord Commander. This is important. This is important PSA. Listen to the Lord Commander. Your life will be better for you.
I guess we're not painting anymore. It's 2 o'clock.
It is too cold.
Time to quit. I was about to shake up another color.
And you can probably continue on without me.
Yeah, you can keep going. I gotta go look into some stuff. Got things to do, places to be.
What do we think, chat? Want to hang around? Have me paint some more? I don't have a mouse that works, so it's going to be really kludgy if it's just me in here.
What do you need a mouse for?
To scroll through chat if I miss something.
Well, don't miss something.
And to turn the stream off. Nope. We're leaving.
He's like, this sounds awful.
Nope. Actually, I have my thing to end the stream. That's not a problem.
Oh, yeah, if you're not working with Jabe, then Jabe doesn't have anything to do.
He said he finished. All right, gang. We're going to send you off into the weekend. Thanks, as always, for hanging out.
Yes, or yes?
We've had a blast. So definitely have a wonderful weekend. Stick around, though. We are going to find somebody to raid. It'll probably be Kenny, Mr. Kenny. Show some love in Kenny's stream when we get over there. Follow the links that Jen puts up, as always. If you're new around here, hit that follow button. We stream 5 days a week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like today, we do the hobby lunch from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific time, U.S. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do 2 to 5, so a little bit later, but gives you 5 chances to catch up with us during your busy schedules. We'd love to see you back.
Angry Kenny? Why is Kenny
Have an angry Kenny. So thanks for having a wonderful stream with us. Have a greater weekend, and we will see you on the flip side. Adios, nerds. We're out of here.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.